Continuing on with this report, I want to show you how you can add, sort, and filter your groups. Well, first of all, what is a group, and then how do I go ahead and add that to my report? Well, you can look at your report right here. You can say, well, here's a group right here. In other words, we have a bunch of duplicate book titles, but when it comes to grouping them under one title, that's what I'm referring to here, instead of having that same title listed several times for these companies that purchased that book title, Basic Medical Billing. Then after I group it under one title, then I can go ahead within that group of all the customers who purchased that book, grouped under that one title, and sort them ascending or descending. So I can go ahead and organize my report and have it look a little bit better, easier to summarize and analyze at a glance. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and right-click in a blank area, and I can either do this in the layout view or the design view. Now, it's slightly different, or there's something you should know if you do it in the design view, but let me go to the layout view first, because I think this is the easiest way to do this, and I'll explain it in just a second. But when I want to go ahead and group a field to eliminate the duplicates there, like for example the book title, go ahead and select, if you're in layout view, select the very first field under the label, and it will select all the corresponding fields down below. So in other words, if I click off of it and I've got something else selected, go ahead and select that first field there, and you can see it's selected all the other fields in that column there for the book title. And then to go ahead and add a group to the book title field, come up here on the Design tab to the Grouping and Totals group, and then click on Group and Sort. When you click on it, down below it adds the window here, and it says, okay, do you want to add a group or do you want to add a sort? I want to go ahead and add a group, and then it says, okay, what field do you want to go ahead and add a group to? We'll do the book title. The moment I do that, notice it does a couple of things. It eliminates all the duplicate titles. So for these customers that purchased 101 pizza combinations, it's not listed for every client, just listed once, and they're grouped under that title. And then it sorts it, it looks like, ascendingly, beginning with the numbers numerically, and then it starts with the A's, and you can scroll down to the B's, C's, and so on. Let me go back up. Now, after it groups it and sorts it, then I want to go ahead and sort it by customer name. So back down in the pane here, click on Add Sort. I want to do it by customer name, and then you see how it shifts. So now it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, R. So we got them grouped, then we got them sorted, and then notice down here in the pane, there's a hierarchical structure going on, and you can tell by the first thing that we did was grouping by book title. You can see it's outdented and up at the top, and then below that, anything else we do or add, it's below it and indented. And the more groups or sorts that we add, it'll keep indenting them and dropping them below the one up above it, so you can tell what's being performed first, or what's of most important. Grouping it by book title, and then sorting it by customer name. Okay, that's the layout view. Now, if I close out of here, don't save my work and say no. And let's go ahead and open up my report again, and right-click and try to do this from the design view to add my groups. Well, there's the pane down below, but if you don't see it, let me close out. You want to come up here on the Design tab to the Grouping and Totals group, and then click on Group Sort. Brings up the same pane here. Click on Add Group, and then we want to go ahead and group it by the book title field. Go ahead and select that. You'll notice up at the top here that I add the book title header section. And the problem with that is that unless I drag the book title field from the detail to this header section, it's not going to group it by. So if I go ahead and click on the View button, it has them together, but it's not grouped under one title. So when I go ahead and I right-click and I go to the Design view, until I actually select this and click and drag it, hover over the border of it and drag it up here into the book title header section, it's not going to group it. So it adds the section here, just drag the field up to it, then click on the View button, and then you can see we get the same results as we did in the layout view. Just requires an extra step if you do it in the design view, which in this case, I like adding my groups in the layout view, so I don't have to do that extra step. And then of course we want to sort it by customer name, right click, go back to the design view, click Add Sort, customer name, and then go ahead and go back to the report view, and it's sorted accordingly. So there are some advantages of doing things in the layout view as opposed to the design view. Now if I want to go ahead and add a total for all the books that have been sold here by group and then a grand total at the bottom, it's really simple. Let's go ahead and right click and go to the layout view and then click on the first data field there, so it selects all the corresponding data fields in that column for the books sold. And let me go ahead and close out of the Group, Sort, and Total window and come up here to the Design tab to the Grouping and Totals group, and then click on the Totals drop down arrow. I want to go ahead and do a sum of all the books sold. I can also do average, the maximum value, minimum value, but let's go ahead and do sum. Give it a second, it updates, and you can see that for each group I've got a subtotal. And then if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, keep scrolling because it's a long list records here. There it is again, the subtotal for this group, and then the overall or grand total for all the books that we sold, which is 3,203 books. It's probably best before I go any further to go ahead and save this. I already have a copy of my grand totals. I'm going to overwrite it. To do that, just come up here, click on the File tab, go down to Save Object As, and let's do RPT. Once I click OK, it says, look, you already have a report based upon this. Do you want to replace it? Click Yes. Click on the File tab so it can take me back to where I last left off here in the layout view of the report. And one final thing I want to show you here is that when you're printing this off, if you don't want to print off all the records that are displaying in the report, in other words, you want to filter some, you can do it one of a couple of ways. In the report layout, let me go ahead and scroll up to the top here. If I want to filter by book title, I can go ahead and select the data field there just below the label. I can give it a right click, and it gives you some filtering options, text filters, or if it equals pizza combination. In other words, you want to filter by selection. So if I select that, only the pizza combination pulls up. And then to go ahead and remove that filter, come up here on the Home tab to the Sort and Filter group, click on Advance, and then let's go ahead and clear all filters. We can go ahead and select it again, and then come up here to the same group, Sort and Filter, click on the Filter button. We can uncheck all of them and then just go ahead and check those books that we want to be able to pull up in the report. Click Okie dokie, and let's go ahead and right click it, go to the print preview, because what you see in here is what's going to come out of your printer. Click on it to zoom out, and you can see everything that's going to be printed, not even a full page. And then just come up here, click on the print button, and you're good to go. Of course, if you're running out of space here, you could come up here to the page layout group in the print preview and click on landscape. Gives you a bit more space if you're getting a little bit tight there, horizontally that is. And then when you're done printing it, go ahead and click on Close Print Preview, and be sure to save your work. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel to get notified of the latest videos. And for great specials on my products, please see the description below this video.